Greetings, everyone. It's July 30th, 2026 on this Gregorian calendar. How's everyone? Give yourself a hug and a kiss as I give myself a hug and a kiss, or several. Share it out to the digital world, digital audience, and anyone on the planet who would love to receive it. And please share some my way. Okay, what's the topic of discussion of interest right now? Uh, it's going to be patriarchy. Yeah, I know everyone's talking about patriarchy. Well, not everyone, but enough. We hear the word enough. But I want to start out with parent. And the definition of a parent, most of us know, um, in the American Heritage English Dictionary is, I'm just going to use number one, a mother or father. Okay? A mother or father. Okay. So we're starting off with two individuals. And we're starting out with two different genders, male, female, a man, and a woman. Either one of them can be a parent. Okay. So on that, with that said, that is what equal look like. Because either one of them can be a parent. Most likely, do a single parent, either one can be a single parent, but it's still equal because either one of them can hold that title, parent. Okay, so that's a good start right there. However, in a patriarchy system, which is what we're currently under, there is no equality. It's strictly just man. And why am I talking about this? Well, it needs to be discussed, and it's the reason why I think a lot of men and women are having a misunderstanding today and misteachings. So we're under conceptions of an idea that puts one over the other. And that's why I always go back to scripture, because the scriptures, people always go back to where the man is the leader, the man is the head over the woman. And it even has God, according to how people look at God, that he's over woman, that man is over woman. God put man over woman. And so it was still, there was no equality in the very beginning when you're dealing with a male God or a male man. So when again people talk about being equal, it's almost impossible to see an equality there when there is one piece missing. In order to be a parent and to make another being, you need two people to come together. Okay, so with patriarchy, it is calling. It needs to be examined because men, well, some men can better understand where the woman is, how she sees it, and she's not the only one who sees it that her role has been something to be subjugated. You know, she's really is there to be a silent, invisible being. something that's invisible but supportive, because the patriarchy system has no room for a queen. It's like he rules alone, and no system can thrive without an equal partner. And when one wants to dominate another, or erase another, or make another invisible, you have thrown off the alignment and the balance of things. And this is why, in my personal opinion or view, we are imbalanced. And I know I'm not saying anything new for a lot of people who already knows this, but it may be new for those who don't get it. Nature works with balances, and most of us can see the evidence. I always talk about that evidence or examples in nature where you basically have um, male and female, right, dynamics. Of course, we do have asexual uh, single cells. Most of us call them amoebas, you know, that can procreate on their own, but they don't need, you know, another party. But since we are talking about the form of, since I'm talking about the form of, people, men and women, we need to have that other part in order to keep ourselves going. And when one being feels like they are erased or invisible, they're made to feel insignificant. Or they, mostly women, we can see ourselves as being insignificant, even though we are the support and the major backbone of things. The backbone is supporting everything. But the position that she has been put in, you would think she's not doing anything. You can even see the position, you can even see that example in the workplace. It's like the foundation of this thing is you can see it all around you, specifically with people when they have their organizations. No one likes to feel like they are not an important piece of something. And for the men who don't understand this or understand this about why women, which is the hot topic, are choosing to remain single and no longer are interested in marriage, it's because they feel unappreciated and disrespected. Now, men think that, or people have been taught that, well, men are looking for respect and women look for love. They both look for the same thing. They both look to be loved, respected, appreciated, honored. It's no different. Someone decided to, whatever it is, to make things seem so confusing, to where they want to split our understanding as to think that, well, we don't want the same things. And we do. Because if we didn't, we wouldn't find men saying, oh, I love her. I want to marry her. She gets me. You have to, at some point, get each other in order to want to support one another and to be in a loving relationship. So somehow and somewhere along the line, some of you men say, you know what? I don't want to be a ruler over my wife or my girlfriend. I don't want to be someone who have to lead someone who cannot lead herself. Like she's her own functioning being. I love watching nature. I love watching animals work together. I love watching birds. I love to watch the birds because the male and the female bird, they work so well together. Once they procreate and the female drops those eggs in the nest, the male goes out and go get the food while she's sitting on her eggs, incubating them for them to be, come to full fledged and to be one beautiful birds. So they have their roles. We all have our roles. And each one of us can lead and not feel like, we're disrespecting anyone. We shouldn't feel like someone is taking control over us or dominating us or ruling us in a way to where we feel like we are beneath someone. And men and women, they don't want to be in relationships. Most of us don't want to be in relationships to where we're feeling that way. We want to be, another word, partners. Some people don't like to use the word partners when they're in marriage, but I don't think it's anything wrong with that word with me because you're showing that once again you got two parts of something. So that is a part already. Just put the ner there. So you got partners. You become partners. And you work together as it should be. So if you want to if you're going to be a king, you need a queen. And you rule together. And until we can come back into the alignment and into the understanding that no one is made better than the other. And everyone has a right to be themselves. And you both have a right or, to support each other. We have choices. And that's the other thing. When people say, when you hear the word free will, you can't say, you can't use the word free will, yet subjugate a woman to her own free will. To say that her will belongs to you. You say God gave us all free will, then that applies to her too. Otherwise, either scripture, someone did something, somebody rewrote something in scripture to place it there, or y'all don't trust in that ideology that we all have free will. And this is why the patriarchy again is not something that is equal, because it is subjugative. It subjects everyone's free will to itself. It becomes it is a tribe. It is a head of a tribe or other groups. That's what a patriarchy is. It rules others. There is no sharing. And so if men are bitter and angry, and if women are bitter and angry, it's because there is no equal footing here. And it could be a simple fix as long as you're not hungry for power and control. But if you're hungry for power and control, and you want to feel better than someone by putting someone beneath you, then this is where it's gonna be harder to climb out of this dynamic, this struggle. Two people, in my view, are supposed to, it'd be to lift each other up, lift one another up. And if one has more than the other, oh, then you know what? Since we're together, we thrive. There is no pouting like, well, you make more than me, so now I want to be your friend, or now I don't want to be with you. Does that not sound like childish stuff? That sounds like adolescents. It don't sound like adult people, adults who got a good grasp on what makes more beneficial sense to, you know, a partnership. What makes it progressive and thrive? But if the ego is she's supposed to make less than me, it's as far as money, or she's not supposed to be smarter than me, then that is still someone who needs maturing, mental maturing, and emotional maturing, and spiritual maturing. And I really can't blame uh, a lot of us because, like I said, we've been taught systematically, you know, how to think. We have been programmed. And until we can release the programming or reprogram ourselves or retrain ourselves into just little analyzation, observation, how do we behave toward one another, you know, in order to, again, support one another in growth, mental growth, emotional growth. And I think that if we can just inch our way toward those little bitty pieces of understanding and understandings, then we can have an outstanding relationship. So I think it's just a matter of putting away some of our pride and, as I said, some of the concepts that we have been taught to be looked at as progressive when it's really not. If people claim, specifically man claims to be higher than every other creature, to be the smartest, well, you can't be smarter than anyone else if you are subjugating. For the people who think that a woman came from your rib, you can't be smarter than that rib that's a part of you. You can't be smarter than that. That's a part. This is your extension. If she's an extension, if she's your other part, sometimes we get tongue tied. If she's just a part of you, then whatever part of her that thrives, that progresses, you should be like, oh man, that's me. That's my other part. People want to say, oh, that's my other half. They thriving, man. That's me. You should feel good. There should be no jealousy, no envy. Because then it means that you're short-sighted. You're missing what is bigger. The centering is not around you. The centering is around the partnership. And with that said, If any one of you want to add anything to what I've said, you're always welcome. These just always observations and little discussions. And I ask that you comment respectfully if you decide to. And look at this as just something that is open up for growth and just for learning. Because I'm here learning along with us as I speak. Because anything that comes out of my mouth, it comes from my mouth straight to my ears also. And with that said, enjoy the rest of where you are in the world. And I'm gonna see you next video. I'm Be Beautiful. Thank you for keeping me company.